Hi students, welcome to ePathashala. I am Dr. Kalpakam Polasa, former Director in charge National Institute of Nutrition at Hyderabad. In this module, you will be learning about how a blue-green algae, namely the spirulina, can be used as a dietary supplement. Spirulina is also known as a blue-green algae because it has a pigment or the one which contributes to the blue-green color. Spirulina can be easily cultivated in water sources like pond. It's also present in the rivers, etc., and can be grown under very controlled conditions. Spirulina as functional component. Functional foods are foods by which they constitute or they have some constituents contributing to something more than the nutritional properties contained in them to overall good health and help in management of diseases. D. Fellis coined the term nutraceuticals in the year 1989. They are also referred to as the phytomedicines. They may be sold as capsule, powder or some other form and taken in smaller quantities, as they may be active ingredients and sometimes fall in the gray area between food and drug. The chemicals may be extracted from natural sources, mostly plants, or synthesized. They are consumed for preventing or managing diseases. These are also called as nutraceuticals. The dietary supplements are those that are intended to supplement the diet with a normal constituent of diet. These ingredients may be nutrients that are present in food like vitamins, minerals, spices and herbs, or other plant extract which are essential amino acid, or some other non-nutrients in food which may be beneficial to man. These may be in the form of pill, capsule, tablet, liquid form or powder form. What is spirulina? Spirulina is, in common language, algae, and it belongs to a group of bacteria called as a cyanobacteria. It's a microalgae and consumed for its health benefits, considered as a superfood and miracle from sea. Spirulina is relatively easy to cultivate but grows luxuriously in alkaline lakes that have very high pH and in large outdoor pond where the cultivation has to be done under controlled conditions. This algae grows in many parts of the world which have sunny climate, including Greece, Japan, India, United States and Spain. In earlier times, it was classified under plant category as it contains chlorophyll and therefore it can do photosynthesis. Later on, it was classified as genus Spirulina. Even though there are many species under this genus, the most commonly studied ones are the Spirulina plantaceus, Spirulina maxima, Spirulina fusiformis, as these are nutritionally significant. It grows in tiny spirals, clumping up together and can be easily harvested. It is also called as the blue-green algae due to its blue-green appearance. As per US FDA, it can be used as a color additive in candy, gum, other food items. Nutritional content of spirulina. It is rich in proteins, vitamins and trace elements. It contains enzymes, phytonutrients and other micronutrients. These are easily digestible and bioavailable forms. Spirulina has chlorophyll and a polypeptide called phycocyanin which has antioxidant properties. It is the one which imparts the blue-green color. The vitamins that are present in spirulina are vitamin B1, that is thiamine, B2 riboflavin, B3 nicotinamide, B6 pyridoxine, B9 folic acid, B12, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin A and vitamin E. Spirulina is a source of folic acid and folates belong to B complex group of vitamin, which is very important and plays an important function in converting the food to energy, and it also has several roles in many metabolic pathways. Folate is important for proper brain function. Its adequate levels intakes are required by pregnant women to prevent neural tube defects in the babies. Other nutrients and non-nutrients that are present in the spirulina are iron, potassium, sodium, calcium, zinc, chromium, copper, manganese, selenium, phosphorus, magnesium, omega-3 fatty acid, namely the alpha-linolenic acid and gamma-linolenic acid, carotenoids and superoxide dismutase. It has many pigments. Principal one, of course, is the phycocyanin and chlorophyll, which may be beneficial. The omega-3 fats are essential fatty acids required in the human nutrition, and human body cannot synthesize these fatty acids like other fatty acid by chain elongation and desaturation. These essential fatty acids are precursors of prostaglandins, which are vasodilators and have an important role in maintaining cardiovascular health. Omegas are essential in fighting heart disease, reducing arthritis, osteoporosis, diabetes, premenstrual syndrome, and depression, as well as lowering the bad cholesterol or the LDL and the VLDL cholesterol. Beneficial effects of spirulina consumption. Spirulina consumption can help in reducing the body fat and reduction in the body weight. Ghrelin is produced by our body when the stomach is empty and creates hunger pangs. After some food is consumed, the circulating levels of ghrelin decreases due to triggering the satiety hormone leptin. Consumption of spirulina can help in reaching satiety in a healthy manner and helps in burning body fat, and therefore may help in management of overweight and obesity. Spirulina and the ocular health. Since spirulina has vitamin A and other carotenoids, it will be beneficial to maintain good ocular eye health. It has been reported to have higher levels of carotenoids than even carrot. Hypolipidemic effect of spirulina. Hypolipidemic effect of spirulina, its extracts, have been demonstrated in various animal models including mouse, rat, hamster and rabbit. The cholesterol lowering activity of spirulina was reported in albino rats as well as in mice. Spirulina 16% fed to mice on a high fat and cholesterol resulted in significant reduction in the total serum cholesterol, low density lipoprotein, very low density lipoprotein and phospholipids with increase in serum high density lipoprotein levels. Few studies in humans have shown that spirulina consumption may lower levels of cholesterol, low density lipoprotein and triglycerides. Large-scale clinical trials of long duration may be required to prove this results. Antioxidant property. Antioxidants protect body from free radicals induced DNA damage. Since spirulina contains antioxidants such as vitamin A and C, E, it may be beneficial. This property has been demonstrated in many preclinical animal studies as well as in human studies. By virtue of its antioxidant content, it can protect the cellular macromolecules, namely the DNA, RNA and protein, from oxidative damage and premature aging of cells. Spirulina and chronic fatigue. Spirulina has been considered as future of the food of the future. It's believed that consuming spirulina makes one feel energetic. It has composition consisting of polysaccharide like rhamnose and glycogen, essential fat, alpha-linolenic acid ALA, and it is absorbed easily in the human digestive tract and helps in release of energy. Spirulina acts as a prebiotic and promotes colonization of human intestine with lactobacillus These are the bacteria that produce the B6 vitamin. However, a placebo-controlled randomized trial on 4 subjects given 3 grams for 1 day showed that fatigue was not significantly reduced or different between the spirulina and the placebo group. Several studies have reported that spirulina has in vitro anti-cancer property and enhances the natural killer cell activity. This activity is attributed to its beta-carotene content. The beta-carotene is converted into vitamin A, which is an essential nutrient required for human to maintain the healthy immune status, teeth, bone, mucous membrane, skin and eyes. In hamsters, topical application of spirulina extract resulted in regression of tumors. In a cohort study on 77 patients, spirulina supplementation for 1 year, there was regression of leukopplakia. The limitation of this trial was that it was unblinded and non-randomized. Chronic arsenic poisoning, a randomized trial. Arsenic is a heavy metal and produces toxicity, particularly it's a contaminant in water, groundwater, and affects people in Bangladesh, India, Taiwan, Chile, etc. They are exposed to high levels of arsenic through drinking water, as arsenic is a contaminant in groundwater. People who drink arsenic containing water are at risk of chronic arsenic poisoning, and there is no specific treatment for this condition. A placebo-controlled double-blind study was conducted to evaluate effectiveness of spirulina extract plus zinc to mitigate arsenic toxicity. 41 individuals with chronic arsenic poisoning were randomly given either placebo or spirulina extract 250 mg plus zinc 2 mg twice daily for 16 weeks. During the study period, they were given arsenic-free drinking water. The efficacy of spirulina extract plus zinc was evaluated by comparing changes in zinc manifestations, skin manifestations, and arsenic content in urine, hair between the placebo and spirulina extract plus zinc treated group. Results showed that spirulina extract plus zinc may be useful, and more randomized trials are, however, required to support this evidence. Allergy, rhinitis and immunomodulation. Spirulina has anti-inflammatory properties. It inhibits the release of histamine from mast cells. In a randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trial, subjects with allergic rhinitis were given either placebo or spirulina for 12 weeks. Peripheral blood mononuclear cells were isolated before and after the spirulina regimen. The levels of interleukin-4, interferon, interleukin-2 that are important in the regulation of the immunoglobulins mediated allergy were quantified in peripheral blood lymphocytes. This trial showed that spirulina intake significantly reduced IL-4 levels, demonstrating the protective effect towards allergic rhinitis. In another double-blind placebo-controlled study from Turkey, it was reported that in patients with allergic rhinitis, spirulina consumption significantly improved the symptoms, namely nasal discharge, sneezing, nasal congestion, and itching in comparison with placebo. It is well known that deficiency of nutrient is responsible for changes in immunity, which manifests as changes in production of T cells, secretory IgA, antibody response, cytokines, and NK cell activity. The above studies reveal the possible functions of spirulina as an immune modulator. Antimicrobial effects. Spirulina has been reported to have antibacterial, antiviral properties against multiple viruses, including influenza, herpes, mumps, and measles. Antiviral effects. In vitro studies. No in vivo studies demonstrating possible antiviral property of spirulina has been reported. Under in vitro condition, it has been shown that water extract of Spirulina platensis containing an active compound inhibited replication of several enveloped viruses including herpes simplex type 1, human cytomegalovirus, measles, mumps virus, influenza A virus, human immunodeficiency virus HIV-1. Another study showed that in vitro aqueous extract of Spirulina platensis inhibited HIV-1 replication in human T cells, peripheral blood mononuclear cells, and Langerhans cells. Further evidences are required to be done in animals and in humans. Cholesterol lowering effects and effects on diabetes. Cardiovascular disease is the number one cause of disease in developed countries. High cholesterol is one of the risk factors. In a study on 15 male human subjects, spirulina were given 4.2 gram per day for 8 weeks. This resulted in reduction of low density lipoprotein levels. Clinical studies have been conducted to study the hypolipidemic, hyperglycerolemic effect of spirulina in type 2 diabetic patients who ingested spirulina at a dose of 2 gram daily for 2 months. This resulted in significant decrease in total serum cholesterol, triglyceride, LDL, VLDL, blood sugar, and glycated hemoglobin HbA1c. In another randomized and controlled study, 25 patients with type 2 diabetes mellitus were randomly assigned to a study or control group. Subjects in the study group received spirulina at a dose of 2 gram per day for 2 months. At the end of the study, total serum cholesterol, LDL fraction were reduced, whereas HDL was slightly increased in the study group. Thus, the hypolipidemic and hypoglycemic effects of spirulina were observed in both clinical studies with type 2 diabetic patients. Spirulina ingestion induces both the fasting and the postprandial glucose in diabetes. Therefore, spirulina can be considered as a good functional food for controlling hyperglycemia and hypercholesterolemia in diabetics and can reduce the cardiovascular risk in type 2 diabetics. Spirulina for the elderly. Elderly population aged between 60 to 75 given 7.5 gram per day spirulina for 24 hours a week had lowered levels of plasma triglyceride and total cholesterol and LDL. Spirulina for the elderly. Elderly population aged between 60 to 75 given 7.5 gram per day spirulina for 24 hours a week had lowered levels of plasma triglyceride and total cholesterol and LDL. Food vehicle. Spirulina has high level of bioavailable iron and it will help in treating anemia without producing constipation. There is rampant deficiency of iron and B12 vitamin among women and children. Products with these two nutrients will be much in demand. Some order may be present in spirulina containing products which can be innovated by food manufacturers by changing their flavor, appearance and enhance consumers' acceptability in order to capture the market and increase their sale. Selection of appropriate food vehicle that would retain the properties of the bioactive compound present in spirulina as well as its delivery at the desired site is very important. Different food matrix can be used as food vehicle. The choice of food vehicle will determine the bioavailability of the bioactive molecules. Stability and bioavailability of bioactive substances in food matrices. The added nutrient or biomolecule must be stable in the food used as a vehicle if they have to produce the desired effect. Shelf life and stability studies of the product and fortificant must be done. The added compound must be bioavailable. Bioavailability studies indicate the absorption of active ingredients and their levels in body. Therefore, bioavailability or bioequivalence studies must be done. These studies would involve analyzing the chemical and physical forms of the added compound. Depending on this knowledge, the product can be designed, and the study will also demonstrate the way it should be consumed and or cooked. The bioavailability of the ingredient present in spirulina may be affected depending upon the processing method adopted to produce the product. Therefore, physical form, chemical form, both are important. Other factors like reconstitution or formulation can change its form, affecting absorption and utilization. For example, beta carotene is fat soluble and doesn't mix in aqueous solution. The bioavailability of the nutrient and the non-nutrient is altered according to the chemical form in which they are ingested. For instance, iron in the form of ferrous sulfate or ferrous citrate is better bioavailable than forms like ferric chloride. Spirulina has bioavailable form of iron, but sometimes the ferrous form of iron can cause oxidative reactions in the food, resulting in color changes. Similarly, as a source of folic acid, spirulina or spirulina containing product can be consumed to treat anemia. Health claims. It's claimed to be an antioxidant as well as help in weight reduction, reduce cholesterol, and as source of provitamin A. However, more scientific evidences are required to validate these claims. Efficacy and safety. Efficacy. Clinical studies on human using double-blind placebo-controlled randomized trials are the gold standard and given the most weight. If this kind of investigation is not possible, data from epidemiological studies can be used. Sometimes, animal and in vitro experiment can be conducted to understand the mechanisms and efficacy. Studies available on spirulina are limited and more research may have to be done in humans. According to US FDA, spirulina is considered as generally accepted as safe, that is GRAS. Further research may be required to understand the efficacy, the safety, appropriate intake levels. It is available now in various forms like powder, flakes, capsules. However, some people may have allergenic response. Anyone who wishes to take this supplement should discuss with healthcare provider in case of doubt. Safety. Heavy metals. Mercury and other heavy metals were present in spirulina cultivated in open water source. Certain species also produce cyanotoxin, which is toxic. In a study, anatoxin A, which is a cyanotoxin, can cause neurotoxicity were detected in 3 of the 39 cyanobacterial samples. Similarly, a case of hepatotoxicity also were detected. Ingestion of contaminants can cause damage to liver and other organs. Hence, strict quality control of cyanobacterial food supplement, including spirulina, is required in order to avoid potential adverse effects. Immunity can be enhanced by consuming spirulina. Therefore, individuals with autoimmune disorder like multiple sclerosis, lupus, and rheumatoid arthritis, other disorders involving immune system, should not take the supplement because they counteract the effect of immunosuppressants that are prescribed to them for these disorders. Spirulina may also interact with antiplatelet aging drugs. If spirulina is consumed with other spices like particularly ginger, garlic, herbs that can inhibit platelet aggregation due to synergistic effect, there may be risk of bleeding. It is advisable for the phenylketonuria patients not to consume spirulina as it has high levels of protein, including the amino acid phenylalanine, which these individuals cannot metabolize due to the lack of enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase. Safety assessment. Safety assessment of newly developed product must include information on history of food use in case of conventional food. Review of literature on related molecular or related substances, chemical substances can be done for those substances without a history of safe use. Dietary intake levels by population, including the age, gender, physiological status, frequency of consumption, should be taken into consideration. Taking into consideration the available data, studies should be planned and conducted to estimate bioavailability, mechanism of action, half-life of the molecule, its dose response, acute, chronic toxicity, allergenicity potential, and other safety tests in human, experimental animals, microorganisms, and cell cultures. Spirulina has been part of a diet of some people in some countries, and it is presently used as a nutraceutical food supplement. History of spirulina use by human has shown that it can be considered as safe to ingest. Results from animal studies also indicate that it is safe. Few clinical studies have been carried out to demonstrate the safety of spirulina in humans. Many toxicological studies have proven spirulina's safety, and currently it is sold as a dietary supplement in the form of health drinks or tablet. Allergen management. Some foods are known to produce adverse immune reaction, which are known as food allergy, and the proteins in the food are responsible for this. They may be food ingredients or foods themselves, or those that may be formed during processing. Therefore, food manufacturers must follow good manufacturing practices, labeling regulations that are required in case it is suspected that a particular food may have known allergens. Benefits of consuming spirulina by the intended population should be communicated to the target population. Any risk, instruction for its use by target population, and formulation if necessary should be given on the label. So, in conclusion, we can say that spirulina is a good dietary supplement. It has got chlorophyll. It has also got omega-3 fatty acids. In fact, the fish eats these algae and it gets the omega-3 fatty acid. These fats are required for human nutrition. Spirulina is also a good source of protein, and it has got other vitamins and minerals also. However, one has to be cautious about consuming this product and be sure of the adverse effect which may be caused due to presence of some toxins. If these are taken care of and by following the proper food labeling which is there on the supplement, spirulina definitely is going to be the miracle food for the future as it is known.